and it shouldn't, because we're still talking about the Amanda Todd situation. It's unfortunately not as rare as one would think. We've had too many issues like this where teens these days are being bullied, and not always does it end up in the tragedy that Amanda Todd's situation has ended up in, but nonetheless, it's something we all need to be aware of. We've talked about what we can do about it, but it's difficult sometimes. My next guest has authored 2 books on bullying. He's appeared on the award-winning Bully Busters segment on ABC. He created the Say No to Bullying program and has been a regular on radio and television for quite a while. Hello, Joe Wojcik. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Tim. How are you today?
I am all right. You're aware of the situation here in Canada. We kind of chatted yesterday on the phone a little bit, and the question that everybody seems to have as parents these days is, what do I do to protect my teen? What can I do? What can I look for to make sure that's not going to happen in my own family, Joe?
Well, first of all, my heart goes out to Amanda Todd's family and their friends and their community, because it is quite a tragedy. People have to understand that Amanda found herself in a very desperate place. She was very alone, and it's sad that she had to seek a desperate alternative to trying to end this problem in her life. And I understand it well, because I was in a similar situation as a child. I think the most critical thing that a parent can do is have a deep relationship with their child. Because when they have this exchange, this dialogue continuously on a daily basis, parents are quite capable of detecting subtle changes in a child's attitude, and they can go and start taking steps to help that child. So I think at the foundation of it all, parents really have to take time to sit down and eat meals together, to have activities together, to take a little time maybe in the evening before a child goes to bed, to really have heart-to-heart talks and really find out what the child's perception of the world is and what's happening in their life. And that's probably the best advice I can give to parents.
More than anything, let the kids know that you're there, right?
Exactly. They have to know that they're loved, and that relationship doesn't start when a child's 13, 14. That relationship really started when a child was born in those early years, when a parent nurtures a child and they develop this intimate relationship where a child knows they're loved. They're loved all the time, no matter how many mistakes they may make, or whatever they may do, the parent still loves them, and that they can come to their parent and tell them anything. And that's why that's so critical, because there had to be some changes happening. And somebody should have detected that possibly she was withdrawing, feeling depressed, and those are flags. And when you see those flags, you really have to take action and advocate for your child.
How pervasive is this? I mean, I know you look at it from the U.S. perspective, but it's not all that different here. There are parents right now who say, my kids are fine. What's the deal? How pervasive is it? How many kids are being bullied on a regular basis?
That's a good question, Tim. This was what happens so many times, too. So the percentage is 25% of all students will be bullied sometime during the course of this upcoming school year. Now, how much of that is reported, that's another question. And so that's why it's incumbent upon schools to have a reporting system, or building a sense of community in their school where people will come forward and tell administrators that somebody is being bullied. That's why teachers have to be trained to be able to see changes in their students and be able to identify different students that may be the bully or those that may be targeted, and then report it. So I think what happens is, over the years, the percentage probably hasn't changed, but it's increased mainly because of the internet, where now we have cyberbullying, which is a more covert type of bullying.
Now, we talk about the tragic end that Amanda came to. How much is that increasing? Is this a real rare kind of case, or unfortunately, is this happening more often than we think?
Well, the percentage is relatively low of children that would resort to that desperate act. They're probably maybe 3% of those that are bullied. But that,
It's still a lot.
in my opinion, just one. And that's why, as a bullying expert, I use the persona of Joe the Biker to go into schools, because I do not ever want to see any child resort to that desperate act, because I understand the pain. When a child is being bullied, they feel very alone. They feel very ashamed of what's happening, and it's very difficult for them to come forward. And that's why it's so critical for parents to have that relationship. As you know, I have this free parents guide to bullying on my website, www.joethebiker.com, which gives parents tremendous amounts of information of how to detect those subtle changes, what to look for, what to do, how to approach the school. It's critical information. And most importantly, it talks about spending time with their children, building that relationship. And it's challenging today in our economy because both parents work. We have a high-speed moving type of society. Parents have to realize their responsibility. And I know it's challenging, but parents have to take time, spend time with their children, and be able to sense what's happening in their child's life.
Joe, I appreciate this a great deal. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure, Tim, and you have a great day.
Thank you. Joe Wojcik.
That's great. Thank you very much, sir.